to the show. Our three questions that
with Sugar Fix in Chicago with Dr. Jessica Emery. So thank you so much for jumping on.
I mean, I'm still going to work on it, but yeah.
And then right away, as soon as that first thing comes out, they sign up for it.
Welcome to Dental Tech Chat. I am your host, Allie, and I have the pleasure today to introduce you to Dr. Josh Lange. He is committed to the excellence in aesthetics and evidence-based dentistry, and Dr. Josh operates on the only certified mini dental implant center of the America of south of Los Angeles. So he serves the San Diego area and the Riverside countries, and he is the founder of Aesthetics Dental Center in Temecula, California. So thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we saw your incredible Instagram and of course saw your networking and other podcasts within LinkedIn and Facebook, Dr. Josh Posh. And I really just love a lot of your guys' content and saw that you guys are using all kinds of technology in your practice. And I wanted to have you here. But before we jump into that, I wanted to explain your amazing associations that you're with. You have a lot of great associations you work with. So I want to give you guys a shout out. So we have the International America of the Mini Dental Implants. You have the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, American Academy of the Facial Aesthetics, the ADA, and the CDA. That's incredible work, really. You should give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, they've all been really good, important organizations that, just the platform, being able to talk with other doctors with similar interests. And yeah, it's been really good. A really good network of a big variety of different doctors on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I just think it's so great that you get to connect and network with everybody. And that's why I was like, I got to have this doctor on our podcast today. He can share some tips and advice with everyone. So that's really great. And I know you have some great experience in the industry and you have a killer passion for dentistry and especially aesthetic dentistry. And I just know that you like to travel and help your actual local community quite a bit. I actually saw a little bit. You've done some traveling and
South
helping
America,
out.
Yeah,
South America. And I was just like, it's incredible the work you guys all do over there. And really are so helpful to give those services and help, the children and adults in need that don't really get that extra additional help. So thank you for going above and beyond and being one of those really helpful special dentists. Because I know it's not easy to travel and book away your life and get up and move shop and help out. But that's just great that you help with so many of those really great volunteer experiences and getting with the community, especially with like the Mission of Mercy. They are amazing, and we also help work with them, and it's just great that you actually are really in there and get your hands and help out. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's really rewarding for sure. Yeah,
I think it's just incredible that dentists who can help out and do the extra mile, and I know everyone wants to, but you have to do a lot of different steps to get there, and it's really great that you're able to help that out.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I would love to start asking you our questions for your technology. So the first question always is our Diamond in the Rough product. So it's a product you have in your practice that maybe not many dentists know about that's been super beneficial and an advantage in your practice.
Yeah, there's a couple. Obviously, I'm a mini dental implant center. So, I didn't know about mini dental implants, in dental school. We took implant courses, we talked a lot about different applications for implants, but I never heard the term mini dental implant. And when I was interviewing for jobs, my fourth year in dental school, I applied for this one place that did a lot of mini dental implants. So it really intrigued me. I asked some of my professors about it. They didn't really know about it. And so I started working for that practice, and I think there's a time and place for minis. We do a lot of traditional implants in my practice now, but I think that it's a huge service to our patients because I use them a lot for denture stabilization. So that's probably my main application that I use the mini dental implants for. I'll use them in some other instances too, but they're really affordable for both the doctor and the patients, and there's a big profit margin for the doctors without having to break their patient's bank. So I try. I'm a huge advocate in telling people, if I don't care if you don't like minis for a lot of other things, but man, they are so beneficial for denture stabilization. They're fast, easy. They work. And so that's one of the big ones I would say, is the Diamond in the Rough. There's a lot of doctors that see them, and I've heard comments from patients or from other doctors, and they've just never seen minis before.
Really got you like started with the minis, like particularly, like was there like a certain types of cases you were noticing, and then you were like, I'm gonna jump into this and gain all the knowledge on this particular like specialty?
So yeah, so when I applied for that job when I was finishing up dental school,
Mm-hmm.
the doctor just he was like a 74-year-old doctor. He's in Sonora. He is practicing. Very like I owe a lot to him. He's a really good mentor. He did a lot of different types of implants throughout his career, but the last couple of years he started using minis. And he just strictly used minis. And so it was a really simple, easy technology for me to learn how to start placing implants. Yeah, they're a little bit, they're more user friendly. And you know, they're less complicated than traditional implants. So it was my first case placing implants was on a denture stabilization case, placing 4 minis on the bottom, 6 minis on the top. And you know, if you can put it was, and he was really a really good mentor. He always walked me through. He went over all of his cases, but that's what got me into minis. And then, you know, as I continued my implant education, CE courses, I was able to add other types of implants in my practice. But it was a good foundation for me to get started.
Yeah, it sounds great. I mean, that's really good experience, like you said, and it's really nice to have a good mentor that holds you by the hand and shows you the ropes. So that's really nice of him to really like help you through, and then, hey, you can carry that on and then keep continuing to show that education to other dentists. So it's all about the connections. That's really great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
And you know, the International Academy of Mini Dental Implants has been one of the best. You know, in Facebook, and there's a lot of different Facebook groups for dentists. And some of them are really helpful, and you know, some of them it's like you can't say anything with, you know, everybody has an opinion about everything, right?
Correct.
And there's, you know, a million different ways to get a good outcome. But that Facebook group and that academy has been one of the most supportive groups, just period, even outside of implants and minis. But it's a really good organization that you know, I'm happy to be a part of. Really good network, and there's, you know, there's people all over the country that's really easy just to you know, pick somebody's brains, and everybody's kind of using these in different applications, so you can kind of pick and choose how you want to use them.
Right. And like you were saying, everyone's learning different ways, you're connecting different ways. And for our listeners, I just wanted you to just restate that Facebook page, so they want to try to get a part of that Facebook group if they could. If you could reach out to you also through the group, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's at International Academy of Mini Dental Implants.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a really good resource if somebody's trying to get started with, you know, even just using minis and seeing how they can use minis and implement them in their practice, for sure.
And yeah, it's a really great tool, like you said, and it's going to be nice because everyone's going to be in that one group, and that's what's so awesome. When you can find a real good group you can connect with. And again, that's where I learn a lot from different dentists, even learning the different technologies on the market, and also like learning what you guys are doing every day in your practice. So I'm for sure going to be checking that out as well, and I hope our listeners definitely will as well. I want to jump into the no risk, no reward. This is kind of my favorite question. So this is going to be a piece of dental equipment that you have in your practice that's been pretty much the big advantage for you, and it was worth your time and money.
You know, I just purchased this just right before COVID, and we've kind of been able to dive into it a little bit more. But I purchased a Tana Lightwalker laser, and it was, you know, it's a decent investment, but and I'm still kind of just getting to the tip of all the different applications. But since I've had that, man, I mean, it's such an incredible piece of technology. It does so much. I don't think there's another laser on the market. You know, it cuts hard tissue and soft tissue really, really well. And it has one of the applications that I think is great on it is we can clean out, we use it during endo. So the laser tip, there's certain laser tips that you can use, and it helps clean out a lot of the accessory canals that are really difficult to reach or impossible to reach. So I've seen a big success with my endo, but I use it a lot with the photobiomodulation after surgeries. I have patients that, you know, with these big, long surgeries that we do with the full mouth cases, being able to use some of that photobiomodulation for post-op recovery has been really beneficial. Being able to, if I have to lay a flap, I use my laser instead of a scalpel, and the healing time is like, cut in half, if not more.
Yeah,
So
I heard
there's
that's like an incredible benefit of using that laser.
yeah. And like I
Especially for the
said,
patient.
there's so many applications that it's probably going to take me years and years to be able to fully take advantage of the laser, and it's still new technology. They're still coming up with new things. One of the things I just started using the laser for, that it's known for, is a non-surgical snoring treatment. So it reduces snoring by 70% or more. Sometimes just eliminate snoring, helps with patients that have to wear a CPAP machine. And sometimes they're able to eliminate that use of it too. So we just started using that. I've have a few patients that we've done that treatment on, and they've already noticed a big difference. So it's really really nice, and it's a good there's a good ROI with that as well. With that laser treatment.
Man, that sounds like amazing. It's just like, it's got so many, it's like benefits on benefits. And it's just like so great that the patients can actually like you said, with the snoring, I think that's so incredible to have a technology that's going to be able to slow that process down and have them breathing a little better, which is great at night, because I'm sure that machine is not easy to deal with by no means.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine, but I know people do it, and I just like, that's great that you can help them and reduce that factor for them. And I just think it's the tool that you're using too. And again, when you're implementing that and training, are you getting ready to like train your staff? Like you said, it's probably got so many different versatile pieces to it that it had to been like, was it too difficult to get that implemented, or was it actually like something like, did you do like a trial and then implement?
I kind of knew. I was looking into lasers a lot. I looked at a few different CO2 lasers and different types of lasers, and I practiced with a couple at. There was a CE course I did that had a CO2 laser that I almost pulled the trigger on. It was a really good laser, but the snoring treatment actually was the one that sold me, because in the future I haven't delved a lot into sleep dentistry yet, but it's something that it's on my list to start implementing more in my practice in the next 2 to 3 years. And this seemed like an obvious first step to be able to at least start addressing snoring issues before I fully jump into sleep dentistry.
There you go. And I mean, you couldn't, like you said, that was a selling point, and it definitely has got to be an advantage, because like you said, it's on your ticket marker. So you're going to make sure you want to understand how to use that for that benefit. So that's really going to be a neat product to kind of hear back on. And I'll definitely have to touch base with you and hear a little bit more about how that's all going at your practice.
Yeah,
that's
for
wonderful.
Sure. Yeah.
And then
another thing with the laser that we do some osseous surgeries and perio treatment with it, and usually that's a really painful procedure to have done. Yeah, after it takes a couple of weeks. Anytime you have to reflect the gums, it can be a little painful. But we've had a couple of patients that we treated quads with osseous surgery, and they've had similar types of treatments done in the past. One patient in particular wasn't looking forward to it, and then we saw him a few days later after we did the care, and he said he had zero pain. He was just as amazed at
that's astonishing. I'm shocked.
Yeah, it was amazing. And so that's just another application. The laser really does cut down some of that healing time and allows the body to recover a lot easier.
Yeah, I hope our listeners, like for that, you explaining that, it's going to, make it easier for them to maybe even look into getting a laser, because maybe they're shying away, like, oh, is it going to really, like you're saying, give you that ROI? Is it really, like, how's it going to help my patients? And really that longevity of, like, it's also that learning curve. And I know a lot of times with something new, it's like you're saying, like, it's going to take a while to learn, but as you've already done quite a few things with this tool, you're already seeing the advantages and benefits going hand in hand, which is, I think, pretty great.
Yeah,
and that there is like, you're going to get really great, I think, for you, again, using this tool, patient acceptance, because they're going to say that you have these success stories now, and you can tell them how it's running and how it's going. So that's great to hear. And I really hope people who are looking into a laser, I'm definitely going to link some information below on the laser we just explained here in this video, and so they can all do their research and a tutorial on it. So I think that's also really neat. I saw like one of your posts with the laser that you were doing a treatment, which was like a still, but it was still really neat to see that.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely getting in there and doing those treatments for your patients.
Yeah, I almost use it on every single patient. Yeah, it's great.
So like you're saying, you're definitely going to see the return, and you're going to be using it. So it's not going to be sitting away. It definitely is going to be huge benefit factor in the practice. So there you go. There's the reward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So this brings me to my final third question, which is actually the funny question. So this can be anything in the practice, of course, but this is your flop. So this is a product that you had bought for your practice, but maybe you're not using as much as you thought you would.
You know, it wasn't a huge investment, but it was, you know, it was something that I just wish I didn't buy. And you know, for me, it was kind of like, it was maybe a dated technology where it's not as needed anymore. But when I first bought my practice, I bought Buzzy Booth.
Okay.
And it's just like a little video thing, and it looked like it would be a good idea, you know, for patients to. The idea was that it's better for patients to share, you know, themselves at the office, and then
Right.
they're going to see, you know, that they came to the office, and that's free advertisement basically.
Right.
But you know, it just kind of sits in a corner. You know, nobody ever uses it because everybody has their phones. You know, I think maybe like 10 years ago, it probably would have been really good before everybody had. Even 10 years ago, probably. But just the picture quality is not great, and the graphics that they have with it. You know, they have like little different like hats or different costumes that kind of pop up, so you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
but
a
it's
filter
just,
almost.
yeah, like
you
a filter.
plop
They have
sticker
different
on,
filters.
right?
Yeah, and they're just all
Okay.
kind of like dated, and you know,
Yeah.
it just. I think we had like one person over the last couple of years, one or two people.
Step in and use it.
Yeah, and we you know, initially I tried like incentives with my staff, like, hey, let's try and get people, like, try and take pictures with them, or and people just
Yeah.
didn't want to do it, you know. So.
Awesome. Well, I have one other thing I would like to ask you today, which was what types of tips would you maybe like want to tell like a dentist trying to integrate technology into their practice? Would be like something you'd first want them to maybe think about implementing, or if they haven't started, like they don't have a certain tool, would you like to recommend?
You know, I think it's a bigger investment, but I don't know how many offices. I don't know what the stats are with having a CT in a practice. But I think that has so many applications. I think it should be standard of care for every office, especially now, because a lot of general practitioners are placing implants. You know,
Yes.
that's pretty standard now where that's happening, even if it's not a lot. And but there's a lot of applications with it. I use it a lot for endo. You know, finding canals, making sure that you're getting everything, and there's a lot more that shows up. Even sometimes, especially on the posterior molars, you know, and the maxillary molars, sometimes it's hard to tell if there's abscess, and patients are having a hard time, you know, detecting which tooth is hurting, and it's really easy to tell on a CT. Which tooth there's an abscess if that PA is not super clear. So I think investing in a CT is just, it's always gonna, you know, it's always gonna help out. You know?
Yeah, and that's been a huge piece of technology too that right now. I think you're right on the ball, like where so many dentists are actually like, that's the product. If they don't have it, they're implementing it right now. Like it has been very like, it's kind of like the hot topic besides just like, of course, the scanner. I think a lot of people are really diving into with certain practices, again, with stat, but that CT, everyone's like needs it. They're like, we need to use it, and it's going to be used for more than just one thing. And the image quality, again, with that, it's like you said, you're going to be able to see an abscess way better using that.
Yeah,
so,
and the prices are coming down a lot on them. You know, I'm sure 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that it was a different market, but now, you know, it's definitely affordable. It's definitely doable for every practice to be able to pay, you know, finance that and have that CT for sure.
Absolutely, like you're saying, because like before, it probably definitely was like a scary like price point, or just enough was just like, oh, if I'm not really going to use it enough, it might not have that ROI for me. But yeah, there's all kinds of different payment plans, like you're saying now, and there's companies like, including us, that we want to help you guys find the best way to get into a machine that it's going to work for your practice, for your patient. Yeah, with a good price point, so you can't go wrong there.
That's right.
Awesome. So I also wanted to really quickly, before you hop off, I wanted to like just ask, you do a lot of stuff with like sports and things. So like, is there fun fact about you? Like, would you have like a favorite thing you'd put as like your number one hobby if you're not doing any dental work when you're leaving you're out of your practice?
You know, since COVID happened, I got really into jumping on a Peloton. I had it for a couple of years.
Okay.
And I barely jumped on it, and then with COVID, it kind of pushed me to do that. So that's what I like doing right now, and just trying to stay in shape that way. But I love sports. I coach a lot of my kids, soccer, basketball, football. Those are some sports I played growing up, and
Oh, that's awesome.
I much prefer going and playing basketball than running in a treadmill or outside. So yeah.
COVID's made it hard on everybody, but we're going to do our best to stick together and stay positive.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Because even me, it's like I can't go to a gym. So I had to start running because I liked to also, like use weights and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get all that equipment. But that's really neat about, like you said, jumping on the Peloton and going out and, staying fit. So that's really good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say thank you so much for being on our podcast on Dental Tech Chat. It was such a pleasure having you. I wish you all the best with your practice, and thanks for sharing your advice with us and our listeners today.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. You have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
It was so great having Dr. Josh Lange on our podcast today. We got to hear his story and how he got started with mini dental implants in his practice. If you'd like to learn more about mini dental implants, please go follow the Facebook group, the International Academy of Mini Dental Implants. Dr. Josh also shared with us a very cool piece of technology, the Fontana Lightwalker Dental Laser. He shares with us all the multifunctional benefits and advantages of using this new dental laser in his practice. If you guys would like to check out Dr. Josh Lange's practice, for those of you in the Temecula, California area, go visit the Aesthetics Dental Center and get posh with Dr. Josh. We'd like to thank all of our listeners who support our podcast and follow us. If you want to learn more about dental technology, please hit the subscribe button, like, and share our videos. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.